Now, I think we could all agree that accented tones of figuration are so much more interesting than the unaccented tones of figuration. These give the push and pull, the agony and the ecstasy to life. So we're going to spend more of our time in the accented rather than the unaccented realm of all of these things. So we're going to group embellishing tones into two categories based on their rhythmic placement. And the first category was the unaccented embellishing tones. So that one is easy. We're not going to spend any more time on that. Just know that passing neighbor and incomplete neighbor and quarter leaping and all that stuff can be unaccented as well as accented depending on the rhythmic placement. Now it says consonant embellishing tones may appear without a preparation or a resolution because they don't have any dissonance, so it doesn't matter. But if you use dissonant embellishing tones, they have to be carefully controlled. So let's go where it says accented embellishing tones. Now the embellishing tones that belong to the second category, or the ones that we just talked about, are called accented ones. They recur on metrically stressed contexts and not between beats. They come in many different types, but the ones we're discussing in this chapter are the bullet-pointed ones. There's one called an accented passing tone. The acronym for that is APT. It's very apt to be accented. Ha ha ha. All right, so here we go. 1, 1, 6 to 4. Well, there's nothing thrilling about that. It's just fine, but there's no pizzazz to it. So let's fill in the fall of the third going on the soprano part with passing tones. So look at letter B. See? Oh, that's much more interesting. However, those passing tones are unaccented passing tones because they come between beats. So it's very smooth. And as a composer, sometimes you may want beautiful and smooth. But let's say you want something much more edgy. Let's look at letter C. We're going to shift now a little bit and create some metrical tension by putting a dissonance on a downbeat like this. So we start on an upbeat this time. 1 and 2 and 3. Suddenly we've created a 7/6 and a 9/8 and 4/3 suspension. Now you're probably wondering how I got those numbers. With the F to the E, I called it a 7/6 because of the soprano, but I should have probably called it against the bass a 4/3 suspension. That would have been more accurate. Now B2. If you do it against the bass, that would be a 7/6. And B3, you can either do it soprano against alto, which is 4/3, or it'd be the same, just with the bass expanded out an octave, 4/3. So D equals dissonance, C equals consonance. And now you see the dissonance is on those beats and not in between the beats. That's what makes it special. So the metrical tension is caused since the consonants and the metrical accent of the natural beats 1, 2, and 3 do not align anymore. Accented passing tones most often occur in descending lines. We just saw that. So they often occur in descending lines, and they usually are part of either a 4/3 motion, or let's see if I can do a 9/8. There's a 7/6 against the bass voice. This is a song by Schumann. If we were in a class for real, I would make you all sing the melody. In fact, I think I will right now, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Sorry, my finger slipped there. All right, I'm going to have you sing now with just the melody while I only play the bass note. And that's where these numbers are created from. So it starts off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 8, 10, 8, 4, 3. 5, 5, 5, 3, 2, 3, 8. Okay. Now, let's see if you can sing it by yourself without help from the piano. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's how Schumann actually wrote it. Now we're going to reimagine letter B, that he didn't write it that way, and we're going to change the B flat A G. We're going to shift it backwards so that the dissonant A is not on the downbeat anymore. So listen to letter B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's way more boring, right? Okay, sing it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So thank heavens that Schumann did not write the boring version, but that he wrote. You know, this is a love song. He's thinking about something beautiful on a summer morning. That's the word morgen. So the accented passing tone even helps the declamation of the natural rhythm of the text in German. And it focuses on morning, morgen, that beautiful morning. So it's word painting. There you go. So the chromatic passing tones fill the space between two diatonic pitches. And most of the time, the diatonic pitches are separated by a major second, creating a series of half-step motions. So let's see how that works. Go to example 10.5. We're in the key of B flat major. Okay, this will be a little bit easier to see because we only have two parts going here. Okay, so look at this. D, E flat, F. That's your diatonic passing tone because we're only using pitches in the key of B flat. It's unaccented because it falls between the beat. Now, number 2, we're going to fill in the gap between the E flat and the F with a chromatic pitch E natural. Listen to this. Well, that's way more interesting than a simple move like that. Here's number 2 again. So this one had not only the passing tone E flat, but a chromatic E natural passing tone. Now let's just ditch the E flat passing tone and just use the chromatic passing version. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now let's shift the E natural over in bar 4 to the downbeat, but change it back to the diatonic E flat. 1, 2, and well, you still get some bite in there. Because it fell on a beat, it's an accented passing tone now, instead of an unaccented one. Ooh, now we're going to put all these things together in number 5. So we have a passing tone E flat and accented passing tone E natural. So what you're seeing here is a spectrum from left to the right at getting more intense chromatic and metric dissonance the further to the right you go. So your job is now to sing the soprano part in your own range. We're going to just sing measures 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can hear the spectrum on the left from boring up to all the way up to number 5, which is exciting. Okay, 1 and 2 and number 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's do it a little faster. Okay, 1, 2. I think we could all agree number 5 is certainly the most interesting. It's both accented and chromatic with its dissonances. Now, the reason why Laitz chose that particular key and those note combinations is because it's from a Mozart sonata that goes like this. Okay, so here you go. Here's your accented passing tone. Here's a chromatic, unaccented chromatic passing tone, and a chromatic passing tone. Accented passing tone. It's a double one because it happens in the soprano. alto. Now I want you to look below at the analysis. I don't think I can say all of those Roman numerals at the same time I play them, but level 1 is written out for you in Roman numerals, okay? So you can say them as we go on. Ready? Go. Okay, now look at measure 1. It's got a P in parentheses. That's because you have a 1 chord, 5-4-3 to a 1-6. So the 5-4-3 is the passing chord between those two chords. Now bar 2 has the same thing. 5-6, 1 to 5-4-3. Okay, so it's. Did you hear the passing? The 1 chord is passing. Okay, bar 3. 1-6. Now it goes down to A to B flat. A to B flat is an incomplete neighbor. And then a B flat, A, B flat, neighbor motion. All those things in parentheses are level 2A. They're ornamental or embellishing chords. They're not structural. Now, the structural parts, you'll see there are some brackets. There's a 1 chord that rules bar 1, and a 5 chord in inversion rules bar 2. Bar 3 is ruled by the 1. The downbeat of bar 4 is still ruled by the 1. On beat 2.5 comes your predominant, 2-6. And then the dominant with the suspension on it comes in beats 3 and 4. So Laitz is making the argument with the T and the ginormous straight line going across that bars 1, 2, 3, and the downbeat of bar 4 are all ruled by the tonic. And if you play it fast enough, you can see this is true. So the phrase model is one of those where there's a lot of tonic expansion, and then right at the very end it goes predominant, dominant on half cadence. 3 and 4.